Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And guys, I need to get two things off my chest. First of all, every single time that I think, you know what, this crypto has gone up such a huge amount, I shouldn't buy more of it. Like for example, Solana. Well, it just parades through. But every single time, and you guys shared that on Twitter too, that you put a couple $1,000s in or you go a little bit crazy, boom, next day it just shuts down. it's really the world of crypto, I'm not going to lie to you. I think we've all witnessed that once before, that it does all amazing except for exactly the time that you buy. And the number two is that I personally think that articles like this, XRP, how a 40% hike can transpire over the coming weeks, are completely irrelevant on the basis that ever since Ripple got sued, let's say about 1,000% gain is really what they could have put as a headline every single time. Guys, I firmly believe that if Ripple wins this lawsuit, we're, at least from the point that it was back then, going to see some 10 times gains right now, potentially still 10 times, but let's say more towards, the let's say about 5 times or so gains that we're going to see at a settlement, which is, again, like a snap, could be really quick, could happen within a couple of days. Isn't it kind of crazy, first of all, to think about that we could have such a huge multiplier in such a short amount of time, but also on the different end, that we've kind of been blue-balled since freaking December 22nd. Every single time we're like, oh, okay, but it's going to close down quickly. Oh, but it's going to be finished quickly. Oh, but it's almost been a freaking year. I'm getting tired. Then again, I'm also patient because I know even waiting 1 year for 10 times gains, it ain't that bad, to be honest with you. Maybe some other coin could have done it better, but that's ultimately why we split our portfolios up into different pieces, and ultimately, it's also about the risk to reward. With XRP, I feel as if the risk isn't that high, but the reward is rather high, so, I mean, yeah, there might be some smaller opportunity cost, yet I feel comfortable being part of this game changer, so to speak, because I firmly believe XP is going to change the game. But let's quickly look at some stuff. Wrath of Kahneman just shared this, a paper from the World Economic Forum, Navigating Crypto Regulation, co-authored by Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple, lists regulatory issues and current strategies around the globe. And guys, I really feel as if we're missing so much stuff somewhere. What I mean with that is that this paper was just published, again, co-written. Once more, a lot of people co-write these things, don't get it wrong, but co-written by Brad Garlinghouse. I feel like there's so much stuff out there that's still to be discovered that Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, all those guys had something to do with. Here, for example, we can see one of the subject leads, like almost always. What I mean with that is that almost always the same names are in this list. Donnell Dixon is always one of the subject leads, and Brad Garlinghouse is almost always one of the co-authors. We don't really know exactly what part they write, though. Like, what exact part of this were they interested in or asked about or something like that? Let's see if Ripple or XRP was mentioned. No, the only time Ripple is mentioned is all the way at the bottom here as a co-author. But let's see if Brad anywhere else throughout here is mentioned. No, not either. Right, so what can we fetch? Well, I guess we're going to have to read this entire 31-page document here because it is talking, in a funny sense, about the legal status of crypto all around the world. And I guess in a funny way, they're using a lot of countries here, which I guess XRP is also going to have access to. Then again, that's also a stupid argument to make because, well, ultimately, XRP is eventually going to be everywhere. And talking now about countries that have XRP listed is like talking about countries in general. I mean, yeah, well, what is it going to do for us? Nothing almost. Now, from the same perspective, though, I guess by just looking at the status of some different countries and basically how they respect and use crypto for that matter, it might also give us some sort of hints as to how XRP is going to be moving on. And we might also type in settlement here. I mean, we can have settlement for crypto, but maybe it's better to type in cross-border because ultimately we're seeing the Bank of International Settlements. We're seeing definitions of settlement finality that would legally constitute finality for the variety of crypto systems. I guess this can be interesting. Let's quickly check it out. It's all about finality systems and key takeaways and guiding principles. A lack of clarity on both the definitions of safekeeping, custody, and settlement finality will have ramifications for crypto market participants and their providers. A standardized approach with a shared understanding of equivalence and recognition between jurisdictions will be highly desirable. Okay, that's again about a kind of a world standard. And then we have a quote, or basically a footnote from the BIS as well. Let's type in cross-border. Nothing. Cross-border. Okay, we have about 5 of these cross-borders, okay? Well-designed crypto regulations have been implemented in many jurisdictions, true, not the US, encouraging crypto-based innovations and efficiencies in finance and commerce, particularly for cross-border transactions. Regulators should look at examples elaborated upon in this guide to bolster their understanding of the parameters and variables that are pertinent to the design of regulatory frameworks. I guess this is from some perspective kind of a guide for the SEC, or is it not? If they're saying it like that, like, hey, you know, there's quite some good rules in place for cross-border transactions in some countries, some regulators should take some examples out of this guide. So if I don't see it poorly here, Brad Gullinghouse helped co-write a guide for some regulators revolving around cross-border payments to some degree. All right, here we have macro level and multi-jurisdictional risk. At the international level, given the cross-border nature of crypto networks, a key question is who should oversee the markets for crypto and financial market infrastructure that interact with crypto assets in payment, settlement, and other activities. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. That's a good question. Then we have, wait a minute. Let's actually go back here. Did they actually talk about the SEC in this part as well? I don't see it. No, it's just about the risks of all of it. Okay, and the money laundering. Here we have comprehensive regulatory approach. The comprehensive regulatory approach involves designing and implementing a specific regulation that would govern activities conducted by the regulatory entities or regulated entities. This could typically compromise licensing requirements and obligations in order to provide financial services and foreign exchange restrictions for cross-border transfers, among others. Examples include Switzerland, Japan, New York, USA. At the EU level, the markets in crypto assets regulation will provide Europe-wide regulation for crypto assets. Okay, nothing too significant. Then in this part, which is about guidance from international bodies, they mention here there's need for regulatory certainty. True. Developing a coordinated approach. Given the cross-border nature of crypto, countries should coordinate and collaborate with each other. And yeah, okay, that's pretty nice to see. And number 5 is here about the conclusion. Once more, kind of the same conclusion about these guys coming together. The unique characteristics of crypto that drive their adoption also make them difficult and in some cases impractical to regulate. Specifically, the decentralized nature of crypto allows them to be transacted at a peer-to-peer level across borders without intermediaries, without KYC and whatnot. Okay. I guess this is a big conclusion though. I'm going to put it over on Twitter for you guys to quickly share with your friends if you want to in an easy manner. Because Brad Gullinghouse co-wrote this. Pretty nice to see that. I'm not going to lie to you. Pretty nice. Now, I also wanted to show you guys this little video. Hopefully you have enough time. That's 3 minutes. But Crypto Law basically shared over on Twitter. Was Hinman providing clarity to the markets with his Ethereum speech? Well, CNBC thought so. And then Hinman himself went to the CNBC and confirmed into camera, we. Fair notice or market confusion? And what it comes down to is that right now we don't know if individuals like Hinman are given their own opinion or basically an SEC opinion as a whole, because there's just a lot of confusion. You know, CNBC thought so that basically Hinman was giving clarity to the markets, and then Hinman himself went on to CNBC and confirmed into the camera that, again, we did this stuff. Basically meaning the SEC gives out an official opinion, yet kind of not, but kind of is. It's just confusing, right? We don't know. And I saw a couple of replies that I wanted to share here with you guys. It was by David Swartz. He went to reply. I think it might be under one of these here. Let's quickly see if we can find it. Oh, yeah. So 604XP says, a lot of we in the video, waiting for Gary Gensler and the SEC to say the definition of we in his interview with Bill Hinman. Crypto Law says, or that you're being subjectively reckless by believing that we meant the SEC. And David Swartz says, he could have had a tapeworm. You can't just recklessly disregard such possibilities, which is kind of funny coming from the CTO of Ripple right now. Pretty interesting, right? Then again, I don't know if it's actually smart. No, I might not be smart to do that. I think CNBC might actually send out copyright strikes. I'm not too sure about that. Because it's also a 3-minute clip, right? So, guys, just check it out over on my Twitter. I am sharing it with you guys, but XRP is not in the story. So don't think about it like that. It's in my opinion, just the SEC being very confusing about whether or not whatever they say in the media is an official opinion, just a personal opinion, and whether or not whatever they say should be held as guidance and as help for the market, or just, once more, as an opinion held with no relevance whatsoever. If it shouldn't bear any relevance whatsoever, then why would they want approval from the SEC? Like, why, for example, if William Hinman is going to say something, does it need that much approval, and does he ask for more input and whatnot? If it's just an opinion piece, and if people shouldn't take it as clarity or insight, it's just an opinion piece. I even would like to say that as a person of such a high ranking, you shouldn't be able to give a public speech of this degree with just an opinion held to no standards whatsoever. What I mean with that is, if you're giving a speech as an official SEC member, or president for that matter, you can't expect people to just think it's your own opinion, right? Now, I would say the president of the United States is a little bit different, because you all know he's a person before he comes up. He's there for 4 to 8 years, whatever, and then he's back out. So you know that he's just a normal kind of a person. It's not just literally like, I don't know how I would like to explain it. Like, for example, a Trump or a Biden, we all know their opinions before they become president. We all know the opinions that they're going to, kind of express throughout their presidency, meaning they can say some stuff which has nothing to do with the presidency, but then again, everything that they say, you do think about it as if he is the president of the United States, right? You don't think about it like, oh, this guy just gives his own opinion. He's just a random person. If he says, no, we're going to do something really crazy, right? In general, he's thinking like, no, this is all, no, let's say it differently. If he thinks, the president of the United States thinks, oh, no, this is all fine, yet it comes out in the rules that it's not fine, that's odd, right? Because the president of the United States, says, no, it's fine, it's good to go, you're good to go, you're all fine. But all of a sudden it turns out it's not true. It would just be odd. Point being of my freaking blabbering here, it's strange that such a high-ranking official, which is what the judge agreed with and the SEC themselves said, can just let go of these really critical and conclusive for the market statements, having no relevance to the actual market statement. By the way, guys, make sure you follow me over on Instagram. I told you guys all, if you have any questions, just let them loose over on Instagram. I'm trying to answer every single question on there for right now, so you might want to check that out. Also, little side note, I guess XP is still doing good. Our trades are still doing nicely, even though we're down a little bit. It's a retest, like we were saying a little bit earlier. This is an important area to retest, and I guess maybe we should just call it this area to be a little bit bigger, because we're still within our area here, guys. It's not too bad. It's not outside there just quite yet. We're still doing good. Confirmation is still apparent. I would say we're still bullish. Nothing has really changed too much. And if you're wondering about the lawsuit update from earlier, the long story short version of it is there were one member from Ripple that left the attorney team, and 2 that came in, both really high at Harvard. This law firm, by the way, the de Beauvoir, is actually really, really amazing in New York. You guys have told me during the live stream. And the other part here was that Ripple was just basically for an extension of time on some stuff, which again is the usual. This stuff takes so much time, man. It's annoying, but hey, that's the way it is. All right, guys, that was for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video later today. Make sure you check out BITRUE, by the way, for about $3,000 worth of bonuses. You might like it.